Are you new to sewing? Don't waste your money on tools you don't need. In this video, I'm going to explain the 10 most essential tools you actually need to get started. If this sounds like what you want to know, please don't go anywhere, keep watching. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification so you'll be the first to know once I upload a new video. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share with your family and friends. Without further ado, let's jump straight to the video. First up is fabric scissors or shears. These are your #1 cutting tools. Fabric scissors are used to cut your fabric. There is no sewing without cutting, so you need to get a fabric scissors if you want to start sewing. Remember to keep your fabric scissors sharp. In other words, you shouldn't use your fabric scissors on pattern papers or any other object because it's going to make it go blunt. If you want to cut your pattern, get another scissors for it. Your fabric scissors is specifically designed for cutting your fabrics, and if you want to cut other things like your patterns, you need to get another scissors for that. The next one is tape measure. A measuring tape is essential for accurate measurements. Whether you're making clothes or adjusting patterns, you need a tape measure. Look for one that is flexible and at least 60 inches long. You also need a tape measure to take your body measurement. You can't possibly sew for a client without taking the person's body measurement. That is the only way you can sew to fit. So you need a tape measure to cut, to sew, to take your body measurement. Make sure to get the one that is at least 60 inches long and also flexible. Next up is seam ripper. This small tool is very essential. Mistakes happen, and that is why a seam ripper is your best friend. Whether it's a crooked seam or wrong stitch, this little guy will save your project. If you want to help your life in this sewing industry, you need a seam ripper. Even professionals make mistakes, so you need a seam ripper to correct your mistakes once you make one. Next up is pins and pin cushion. Pins help to keep your fabric in place while you cut and sew. As someone who has sewn for a very long time, I can't possibly cut without pins or my fabric clips. And you need pin cushion to keep your pins in place. You don't want your pins littered all over the place. One, it is dangerous to leave your pins lying all over the place. Two, it makes your work surface look so unkempt. So pin cushions help you to put everything together in one place. And if you have kids, it's not ideal to leave your pins littered all over the place. They could take it and swallow or match on it and get injured. So you need pins and pin cushions as a starter. And that tool you need is a sewing machine. While this tool is optional, I think it is great if you can get one. A sewing machine speeds up your projects and helps you get cleaner seams. You don't need anything fancy. Just a basic one with straight and zigzag stitches is enough to start. There are so many options out there in the market. We have a manual sewing machine, we have an industrial sewing machine, and we have the home sewing machine. These ones come with zigzag stitches and straight stitch. So you can look around and get the one that suits you. So if you're starting out, I'm going to advise you to get the manual sewing machine. This will help you if you live in places where there is no power supply or you don't have constant power supply. You can always make do with a manual machine. But if you live in areas where you have constant power supply, I would advise you to get the home machine. With this, you can make your buttonholes at home. You can even overlock with this machine. I overlock with it sometimes. You can sew straight stitches with it as well. So this is a better option if you're looking for the one to buy. If you're making dresses in large quantity, I would advise you to get an industrial sewing machine. Another tool you need is a hand sewing needle. This is a must. Even if you have a machine, hand sewing needles are a must. They are perfect for basting, small fixes, sewing on buttons, hooks, and the likes. So if you want to start your sewing project, you need a hand sewing needles. In fact, there are some places you need to tack with your needle. You can't do that with your sewing machine. Okay, so you need a hand sewing needle. Very essential if you're starting out. Even if you're a professional, you need a hand sewing needle. Let me tell you this, you can't fix your beads on fabrics on the machine. Maybe there are machines that do that, but the best bet is your hand sewing needle. They come in different sizes, so choose the one that is okay for the project you need it for. Next up is thread. You can't sew without thread. It helps to bind your fabric. Whether you're sewing on a machine or you're using a hand sewing needle, you need thread to bind your fabric. Choose all-purpose polyester thread to start. It works well on most fabrics, and be sure to match your thread color to your fabric for a clean finish. So if you're looking for tools to buy, you need to invest in threads, assorted colors. Hey, another one is iron and ironing board. Like guys, I feel this particular tool is so essential. It is so essential. I've seen people who sew and they don't have an iron, and I wonder how they do it. Yes, pressing is part of sewing. A good iron and ironing board help flatten seams, set hems, and make your projects look polished and professional. So you wonder why you have two dresses. One is looking well laid, clean, polished, and the other one is looking so tattered, so unkept. It is because you have not ironed your fabric. You need to make iron your best friend if you want to start sewing. I can't overemphasize the need of iron when it comes to sewing. If you want to become a professional tailor or a professional seamstress or a designer, you need an iron and also an ironing board. If you don't have an ironing board, please, you can use any flat surface that you can lay your hands on. Better still, you can use the floor. Okay, just make sure whatever you're using is flat and you're good to go. Make sure you get this if you want to start sewing. You're going to need, in fact, I think I'm going to make an entire video dedicating it to iron and ironing board. The need to have this in your space if you want to start sewing. It is so essential. I feel this is like almost the number 1 or 2 or 3 when it comes to the tools you need to get if you want to start sewing. Another tool is your chalk or your fabric pen. You use tailor's chalk or fabric pens to mark darts, notches, or fold lines. Always test first to make sure it disappears or washes out. If you're going to be making a pattern, you can use an ordinary pen, you can use a pencil, but if you're going to be marking it on the fabric proper, please get a tailor's chalk or a fabric pen. You need this because you don't want to leave marks or stains on your project when you deliver it to your client. So you need to get those ones. After marking, you clean it up and your work looks so neat and flawless. No one will ever know that you used even a marking tool to get your project done. And tailor's chalk come in different colors and shapes. So if you're marking on a white fabric, please use a white chalk. In fact, I think white chalk is preferable because it doesn't leave stain on any fabric, whether you're using white, black, cream, yellow. You can use other colors in other colors of fabric that is not white. Another tool is your ruler, a clear ruler. A clear ruler helps with straight lines and cutting. We have some other rulers, curve ruler, armhole ruler, hip curve, and all that, but for a start, what you need is just a straight clear ruler to get started. So if you want to learn how to sew on a straight line, you need a straight ruler. Which tool do you use the most? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to know what's in your sewing kit. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share this video with your family and friends. If there are some other videos you'd like to see here on this channel, please don't forget to drop them in the comment section below. If you've not subscribed up to this point, please subscribe. Once you subscribe, don't forget to turn on the notification so you'll be the first to know once I drop a new video. And until I come your way again, do have a fabulous time and stay blessed. Bye.